Buckle up for another episode of Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Hey, scamp, did you finish your homework?
You're talking to
For
me?
the episode, did you finish it?
Oh,
Because remember, you can't cut off a man's head until you finish your homework.
Oh, but I want to cut off a man's head.
You know the rules.
Oh, man, this house sucks.
Hey, get over here, hair tossle.
Aw.
I think you're going to be all right, son.
Yeah, everything's going to be great. And I'm here, too.
Oh, no.
Let's get into it.
Let's get out of it.
Ghost Facers! We face a ghost, when others were not, we're ghosts! Ghost Facers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghost Facers! We face a nightmare, we face a dread! Ghost Facers! We face a faceless, we face a dead!
Welcome to Ghost Facers. Today we're discussing Season 8, Episode 18.
Nice.
Episode finally 18?
Yeah. Yes.
Whoa.
Season 8, episode.
Sorry, what? You know we probably make this every single season.
I was just going to say Season 8, episode barely 18.
Yeah. There's no way we don't make that every single time. Now here, like smash cut to like a cut of us literally making this joke every single season.
I'm really sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Yikes.
Oh, boy.
Freaks and Geeks.
Yes.
She's a freak in the sheets. A geek in the
A freak
streets?
in the streets and a geek in the sheets.
What does that mean?
She's killing people, but has not gotten to second base.
Oh. That's too intimate.
Which is actually kind of how this episode goes.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah.
So,
Well, before we start talking about it, we've got a review.
hey, please.
Divert!
Yes, yeah, get us out of this.
Okay, so it's funny because I know I'm playing catch up. I know I'm listening to past episodes, but just listen to your episode about 411, Family Remains,
Okay.
and y'all were talking about the announcement that just happened for you about Rob Benedict and Richard Speight Jr.'s Supernatural podcast. This is funny to me because I actually found their podcast first and then found you.
Right.
So
And what's the verdict?
So no worries about me jumping ship at this point. I'm totally enjoying binging my way through your show. And honestly, they don't hold a candle to y'all's unique thirstiness. Cute.
I mean, truly, we're giving different things.
Yeah. Yeah, ours is just good.
End of list.
Yeah, unique thirstiness and appreciation of the gorgeous folks, Cough Jensen.
Hell yeah.
On the show, which is an utter joy to listen to. Please don't ever throttle that back. I mean,
Oh,
if we're going to
man.
be throttling anything, it's ourselves.
Yeah. I'm choking that chicken.
Yeah.
Or as Sam would say, killing that dog.
Or he just says doing it doggy style.
Yeah, Dean, let's make it 10 minutes. I gotta go kill the dog,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, just choke it underwater for 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's where I just say Amelia's name.
Also, I immediately got Richard's Nell and Trading Places references, and they made me laugh.
Wow.
Y'all really do make my workday sail by, and for that, you have my sincerest thanks, Jackie.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
Man, if you think we're thirsty in season 4, just wait till we get to the Summer of Sam.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Those gutters.
Yeah, you think we're too thirsty about Jensen? Don't worry, we'll fix it.
Yeah. Of course, correct.
If anything, too much.
Well.
This episode aired March 27th, 2013.
Nice.
Written by...
Oh, Adam Glass?
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, he's getting it now.
For a second, I was going to be like Jerry Whip.
Roger Lightning.
Yeah.
Directed by John F. Showalter. Showalter what?
Showalter. I hardly know Walter.
I think you've done that. Viewed by an estimated.
We're probably still over 2, right? 2.13.
2 point. Last week was 1.6.
Right.
This week, 2.3. 2.23.
What is happening, season 8?
I think the audience and the writers got their shit together.
My God.
I know.
I mean, I know it'll dip back down again. By the time the show was done, there was no way they were clearing 2 million an episode.
I don't know if they ever changed.
Really? I mean, that's impressive because like the average like viewership average just keeps going down for things. So there's so many things to watch, and
I think that was
so
part
many
of the
people
reason.
don't watch like on like broadcast. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
stuff like that. Like
I'd
even
be
the
curious.
Flash, like the
yeah.
Flash, when it was like at its most popular, I don't think cleared 2 million an episode.
But I mean, it's the reason why Supernatural lasted for so long.
At that time, it was like, wow, it's our best show. So I'm like
Yeah.
curious to see where Supernatural.
It probably ends
ends
up in
up.
like 1 point something. Probably, I wouldn't
Man.
be surprised.
I was going to assume it would dip below 1 eventually.
Oh, I
in
feel like
the
I've
final,
looked
in
in
the final season, like 900,000.
the final season. Everybody's coming back for the final season, though.
Maybe, yeah. I'm curious.
It's.
We hit 5 million.
I do know from what that'd be insane. Yeah, it's bigger than Friends.
Friends had more than 5 million.
Oh yeah.
Friends was getting like 40 million people tuning in. This is what I mean. Like the game changed so much.
It's funny because I think that everything I've read, apparently the reason why the show stood on for so long was because the guy who was like at the very top basically just loved Supernatural.
That's right.
But we'll have to see.
Mr. CW.
Yeah.
Franklin J. CW.
Franklin Jada. Yeah, Mr. CW was my
CW.
father.
Call me Frank.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Well, their family used to be like the WB, but it was changed at Ellis Island
Yeah.
to the CW.
WB. Ain't no folks being able to understand that.
Not in America.
Yeah, that's CW now. All right, let's watch the promo for this episode.
Sure. It's a pretty good promo, I gotta say.
Yeah.
All things considered. Other than, I mean, I guess we should just assume. I guess it's not a spoiler, but like, other than you can tell that
He's a bad guy.
That guy's manipulating them. Other than that, I think the promo's pretty solid.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it.
At this point, it'd be like, don't trust anyone.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Never love.
Yeah, that's even before I started watching the show.
Yeah. It's especially true for all you Stephen Hawking fans out there.
Oh,
Man.
I've done some bad things.
we can't. We can't.
Show me the girls.
Oh, no.
How young are the hunters?
No. Jesus Christ. Oh. Have no heroes is the lesson, I think.
She's got some supernaturals on her.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
International titles. This week's episode shares its name with the TV show from 1999,
Right.
Freaks and Geeks.
A show that I never really watched. It was really formative for a lot of people, but I never
I
watched
I went
it.
back and watched it.
I've seen bits, but I've never just
Is it good?
watched all
It's a
of
good
it,
show.
I don't think.
That's not the original name for this episode, though.
Okay. Was it called
Yep.
Hunt School?
Nice.
I'm from Hungary.
We'll get there.
Okay, all right.
No, the original episode title was Apple Dumpling Gang.
I mean, I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into those a little bit later.
Yeah.
But we've got 3 titles this week.
3. Oh my God. The viewership's rising.
That's right.
We got people back on board.
Raises all ships.
Okay. Interesting. All right. 3. So who's our first one? Germany. Okay. The German one is called Child Hunters.
Yeah, no, the German.
As in they're children who hunt.
Yeah,
Not,
just not that other thing.
Anyway.
Everything you've heard is incorrect. Yeah, no, it's called the Hunter Youth.
Kinderjäger.
Yeah. Whoa.
But isn't that might mean child hunter
Yeah.
as opposed to a child who is a hunter?
Jäger Kinder?
No, I they probably would do something different with it, but
Yeah, it's called the Dean's Youth.
oh no. No, okay, what's the actual one?
The Young Hunters.
I was close then.
Yeah.
Like Jungenjäger.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's so good. It's actually Die Nachwuchsjäger.
Well, there's no. Can I see it? Oh no, I can't see without seeing it.
Nachwuchs Jäger.
Nachwuchsjäger
Sure.
or something like that.
Nachwuchsjäger.
Yeah.
But the first word is die.
Well, Nach is night. Vuk, I'm not sure what that is. And then Jäger, but it's like night something hunter.
Jäger,
Yeah,
I
that's
barely
cool.
know her.
Nice.
All right, next. Hungary.
Hungary's next. Someone
is-
outdid Hungary
This
week?
might be the ultimate Hungarian title, though.
Meaning that it's so vague it could be any episode
Yep.
of Supernatural. It's just called Hunters.
One extra word.
Monster Hunters.
It's monster hunting.
Oh man, Hungary.
This might be the ultimate Hungarian title.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it.
The last one.
France?
Nope.
Brazil?
Nope.
Italy?
Finnish.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Finland has entered the chat.
That's right.
Oh my god.
You up? Who's Finn?
The Finnish title is probably like kid murder.
No. The Finnish title is like it's like a bad translated nightclub in Europe.
Oh, okay. This night is danger.
I do like that, but that's not where I was going for.
Okay.
But no, the Finnish title is Teen Club.
I mean, true.
Say more.
No. Get out of here, Hawking.
I'm listening.
Oh, I'm so upset.
That ass is out of this world.
Why couldn't he just stick to physics and not get physical?
Yes. So fucking funny.
God damn it.
All right. Featured music from this episode.
You're so fine. You have 11-dimensional supergravity. Ugh. Ugh. By the way, the thing that's gross is that they were kids, not that
it's Stephen
not that
Hawking.
it was Stephen Hawking. I want to be clear what I'm mad about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's 2024 and I have a podcast. I have to clarify everything.
What was that from?
Fucking high and mighty.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll Surely Die by the Rubens.
Yeah. Great sandwich.
It's a lot of American Idol winners.
Yeah. Dude, I stuttered.
Whoa! Nice.
Ruben stuttered.
It's when you fall over a bunch of sandwich.
Yeah, yeah. Was when you can't order a sandwich.
Yeah, yeah.
I Ruben stuttered.
Yeah. Like a fuck.
If I had known we were going to have all these jokes, I would have planned a sandwich.
TV Guide describes this episode as Sam and Dean investigate a series of vampire kills and discover that some orphans who lost their parents to vampires are being trained as hunters by a mysterious man. He claims he is helping the kids get revenge, but Dean is suspicious of his motives.
Yeah, baby.
What are they? We'll find out. But before we do, let's open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore. Don't worry, guys. I'm not chill anymore, so we're back to normal.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, people hated Chill You.
Yeah, some people were pretty upset.
Yeah. They were like, he's relaxed. No, make his life worse.
Yeah.
It's better for the show.
Don't worry, it only took a week.
Yeah, it was pretty fast.
I'm not better forever. This week's lore.
I had a hard time with the lore this week because
the dog ate your lore?
No, I would have just killed it.
Oh, okay.
I'm Sam.
Yeah. Classic.
No, the thing that I had a hard time with is, we've done lots of vamp stuff. What I wanted to try to get at was the idea of
certainly are vamping right now.
The manipulative leader who has kind of conned their team.
That's a bit of a broad term.
And it's a tough thing to where I'm going with this is I accidentally typed groomer into my search term, and I was like, no, this is
what did you find?
I mean a lot about Stephen Hawking. Yeah. So I just
BRB.
What I want to talk about is the pop culture trope that this episode riffs on, which is the idea of a team being put together, kind of like a family, who then discovers a sort of.
Oh my God! If you turn this into a fucking Fast and the Furious spinoff,
no, but
because I'm like, you were really just describing everything.
No, this would only be a Fast and the Furious spinoff if they discovered that the reason they all got into street racing was because Dom did something in there. But if we retconned Dom into everyone's past, that he's the reason they all my parents died and I started racing and then you just flash back and there's young Tom and he's killing the dad or whatever. But this is a trope. It's a thing we talk about over on the other podcast all the time, specifically in the context of the Doom Patrol. Right? A team of misfits, they're misfit superheroes who have all had a tragic accident that gave them their powers. And the guy brings them together, goes, "You're not misfits, we're going to do some good in the world." And then they slowly discover that all their accidents were caused by him. That he was but we're doing good, aren't we?
I mean, this is very a Doom Patrol episode.
Well, 100%. There's that kind of thing. Or I've been watching a lot of James Bond. I've been rewatching all the James Bond movies.
You've been watching some James Bond, have you?
And there's even that element, not 100% this way, but a little bit. They in the Craig Bonds, they play Blofeld that way. That he's been behind all of these things that happened to Bond in his life. It was me, Barry.
Yes,
all these
course.
kind of comic things. That what I was trying to get at was what do you call that trope? And I couldn't find anything. But what I wanted to get at is that it's not uncommon. It's a pretty big, twisty kind of thing that I think the reason that it plays so well is because you take a figure of authority or trust and then you undermine that trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sets some groups on the wrong path. But usually the only way that they get out of it without turning evil is each other, right? That actually for all of the bad things, the bad guy kind of succeeds on what they purported to be doing. It's a weird trope because in some readings of it, it almost looks like the end justifies the means. Doom Patrol. X-Men, how many times in comics has Professor X fuck them over? So it's Doom Patrol, X-Men, James Bond or whatever. Even when they find out the truth, you kind of go but I'm better for being the person that I am right now, which also involves you who betrayed me. There's a sort of weird even when those people get their comeuppance or there's some sort of consequence or whatever, it's they still basically succeeded. You almost have there's a sort of victory for the bad guy when you do that kind of trope. And I think this episode has a little bit of that in there.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Which I think is kind of interesting.
Is this the most out of pocket lore segment you've done?
It had to be because I was yeah. It had to be.
It had to be you.
It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found somebody who Squeebity boo.
All right, we're not in high school jazz choir anymore.
We are. How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah.
Squeebap boo.
All right, well, with that, why don't we get into today's episode after this quick break? And we're back.
Better than ever.
Speaking of not being super prepared for this episode,
That's not what I said.
I
Definitely not what happened.
Nope. I didn't do it then.
What is
Yeah.
part of the episode?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, most of the then was about Krissy,
Yeah.
who we saw last season?
Season 7, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I for some reason I thought that she was from like way earlier. Then when I was like looking back, I was like, oh no, that was just last season.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Where we ran into her or whatever. But yeah, we're catching up with her. The bigger thing that I had a hard time with was finding this guy, because he is in an earlier episode,
Yeah, he
but I
is.
don't think he's playing the same character.
He's not.
Right. Okay, that's what was throwing me off.
We'll get there, but yes.
Okay.
All right. We begin nighttime at a waterfall. We see a red station wagon where teenagers are making out.
I must have asked this when we did like the Hook
Yeah.
Man episode or something like that. Did your town have like a makeout spot? Like that feels like such a trope
Yep.
in TV and stuff, but like, is that a thing? Like, do you remember one? Was there one?
Kind of.
But like one that it wasn't just like, and I parked the car and we made out here.
No,
But
no,
it was
no,
like,
no.
that's where you go to park and make out.
There's sort of like two spots.
There
one,
was?
Yeah. One was you go to the riverfront.
Seems not secluded.
I mean, kind of. There's a lot of parking lots and not a lot of people park there at night.
Gotcha.
The other place is the other sort of tied to the other trope, which is like the spooky place.
Sure, right,
So
right, right.
people would go to the end of Texas Road.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and
To the old train station.
yeah,
They say on a clear night you can still hear the choo-choo.
that's right. There's gonna be definitely a train run on this one.
Jesus Christ.
A shadowy figure interrupts the moment. Krissy, the girl kissing, spots something unsettling outside.
Yeah.
The car's hood flips open mysteriously. The boy, Aiden, grabs a knife in panic. The situation escalates quickly with a window shattering and a man pulling Krissy out.
Yeah, like Aiden gets out of the car and she's like, don't leave me here, don't leave me here. And then the window shatters and someone's dragging Krissy out and Aiden comes up from behind.
Decapitates the man.
And then someone else comes out of
Josephine
the woods.
arrives armed and ready while Krissy sort of steps over the body and alluding to maybe that she knew the whole time.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, that was a little too close for comfort. But good job, team.
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
whatever. And you're like, oh shit, they're hunting.
So we know Krissy, obviously Madison McLaughlin, who first played this character in
Yeah.
season 7, episode 11, Adventures in Babysitting.
Right.
That's the cold open.
Yeah, pretty good.
Next day at the sheriff's station, Sam and Dean drive into town discussing the latest grisly murders that sound suspiciously like vampire activity.
Yeah, I do love, we've talked about it before, I love a sheriff who's like, I'm onto something big here.
Yes.
Like, this guy is so excited to be like, you two feds come with me. These bodies, they were drained of blood. Now just wait. Let me walk you through he's like, I've been thinking about how this could all work. And he's like going over all of this kind of stuff. I do love an excited, underqualified sheriff.
Did you catch the extremely Canadian reference in this beginning of this episode before they get to the actual sheriff station?
No, not offhand.
So while discussing how Dean got beat up by Castiel,
Right.
Dean suggests getting an herbal tea and then says, and you can find some cowboy junkies on the dial.
Oh, the cowboy junkies.
So,
Oh, man. I haven't thought about that. I didn't even catch that line watching this episode.
so for those who don't know, Cowboy Junkies are a
Man.
Canadian alternative country folk rock
I
band.
remember cowboy junkies.
And I think why he made this reference is their most well-known song, Misguided Angel.
Right.
There's the lyrics, I said, Papa, he's crazy and he scares me, but I need him by my side. Though he's wild and he's bad and sometimes just plain mad, I need him to keep me satisfied. Misguided
That's
angel,
the sound of all the
love you.
tumblers going.
And they have a song called Angel Mine.
Yeah.
And I can't promise that I'll grow those wings or keep this tarnished halo shine, but I'll never betray your trust, Angel Mine.
Oh, yeah. Man, the Cowboy Junkies.
Right?
I didn't even catch that.
It's such
line.
a quick thing.
Oh, man. I remember them, though.
Yeah, I figured you would. It feels right up your
I
alley.
mean, that is 100% a me kind of. Yeah, you're goddamn right. I know the Cowboy Junkies.
So the brothers then watch a video capturing the previous night's events, recognizing Krissy from a past case.
Well, Dean recognizes her, and he immediately because the sheriff's like, "Look, isn't this a weird part of this case? There's like these 3 kids just decapitated, dude." And then he's like, "We put out an APB for all of them," and Dean's like, "You turn off the APB. This is a federal investigation you're messing with now. You're gonna be in big trouble, sir." And he's like, "Oh, but this
was my case."
He's so chastised.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Dean, this is where we get the potential earlier title, which is Dean jokes about going to go hunt monsters with the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah.
The Apple Dumpling Gang was the name of a Disney movie based on of a book by the same name about a gambler in California gold rush who ends up with a group of orphans.
Cool.
Nothing sketchy about that.
Sort of sounds like the sort of Disney movie they'd have to put a disclaimer card in front of now.
What was that name again? Confronting Krissy and the team. Sam and Dean find Krissy in a hotel, confronting her and the team about their rogue hunting.
Yeah, so Krissy, we catch up to Krissy. She's in a hotel, and she and Aiden and Josephine are actually setting up for another hunt. And we see that Krissy can hack.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the hotel security. She's paid off the front desk.
You're in my world now.
The guy's like, "Are you 25?" And she's like, "Actually, I think I'm 40." And, pays him off or whatever. It's don't push your luck. Just say, I'm 25.
Fucking
you know what
Jesus
I mean?
Christ.
Because then it becomes an obvious bribe instead of being like, "Yeah, I'm 25. Oops, did I leave some money here?"
Yeah, now it's just I'm underage.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, real seedy motel guy, too, being like, "I don't know. Kids book motel rooms, I guess."
Yeah.
That's probably fine. I won't look into that.
Teens probably book motels.
I mean, I guess I just wasn't doing cool things, ?
Prom night?
No.
I mean, yeah, I know who your prom date was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't happening.
No, we went as friends, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do think people thought something happened.
Yes,
but
obviously.
At any rate. We see that she's really capable at doing all that.
Totally.
There's a vamp somewhere in that building. That was one of the things they said in the cold open was 1 down, 2 to go or something like that. And so they're hunting this vamp. She's staying in the room this time because she was the bait last time. And so Josephine and Aiden go. It's while they're going to do the hunt that Sam and Dean come in and find Krissy. And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And Dean's like, "What are you doing here? Hunting or just cutting people's heads off or whatever." And we sort of they catch a glimpse in the computer of the camera feed because these kids are these are Gen Z hunters.
Yes.
They're streaming it. Not online, but there is a feed.
Yes.
It's not just Sam and Dean being like, "I'll call you from a rotary phone when it's done." Sam and Dean have to go save, or they feel that they have to go save Aiden and Josephine.
But accusations fly, revealing personal losses and a driven desire for revenge against the vampires by Krissy and her team. Dean says that Krissy needs to pack up and they are leaving, but she mentions someone named Victor.
Yeah. Which is such an evil name.
I mean, Victor.
Yeah.
Victor won't
we live with a man that just took us in out of the goodness of his heart. Oh, his name? It's Victor. Victor von Evilstein.
Yeah. Victor von I want the kids.
Victor is such I like it too. Not that he's a vamp, but I like it in a vamp episode that his name is Victor. I know Victor Frankenstein is the other one, but Victor just sounds like Eastern European,
Is your cat just looking at the screen?
Or if she sees something through the veil, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know which one's more scarier.
She's a black cat, so it could be either.
Yeah. The boys head to meet
There
Victor.
hasn't been a screen there for 40 years.
Oh my god! The boys had to meet Victor, the mentor training Krissy and her friends, learning about his vision for a new generation of hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so these three, the folks have all been killed by vamps. Sam and Dean come back to this house with them. Is this house a house they use?
Not, at least not that I saw in any details.
But I mean, sorry, what I mean is this isn't a house from The Flash.
No, that was last episode.
But I was like, then I was watching this and I was like, is this one I've seen? And I couldn't figure it out. It might have even been one they used in a different episode or something. But at any rate, Sam and Dean are there, and like they come back and they're like, it was a great hunt. We killed a vampire. And he's like, don't you have homework to do? And it's like all this very like Leave It to Beaver kind of
yes.
like shit where the one's like, I don't have any homework. I'm going to play video games. He's like, I told you to clean your room, mister. It's like, oh, man. It's like all these kids are coming home like bloodstained and be like, ah, chores.
Yeah.
It is like kind of off-putting. I do like Sam and Dean being like this, or at least Dean being like, there's something weird about this.
But they're also like, is this wrong? Like, I don't really know.
It's hard to tell, yeah.
So this actor, Adrian Ho, or Hugh, I'm not sure, who plays Victor Rogers, of course, last name Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. In this episode, also played Dr. Heidecker in season 1, episode 18,
Yes.
Something Wicked.
Yes.
Also, Krissy.
But I got confused because in this episode, Victor says that he recognizes Sam and Dean, I guess, from a Rougarou case. And I was like, was he in the Rougarou episode?
Oh,
so
no.
I was trying to find him then. I was like, where the fuck is he? But it's just, he's just playing someone different and referencing a case we haven't seen. But it's weird when it's an actor that has been in before.
Yeah.
I was getting very like confused.
No, that makes
by
sense. Krissy is named after apparently the creator Adam Glass's cousin.
Okay.
And Aiden and Josephine are named after his children.
Oh, that's nice.
Adam tweeted once, they love the show and are now part of its mythos.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
So the boys are sort of debating this ethical implications of children hunting and seeking revenge. Dean and Sam are torn about the right course of action. As they're leaving, Sam decides he's going to stay.
Well, I mean, so, sorry, is the actor's name Aiden? Yeah, right.
Yes.
The character's name is Victor. Victor's whole thing is like, look at us. We're all fucking messes. You guys, Garth's been dropped on his head, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, like, he mentions Martin. He was like, Martin was crazy.
Yeah.
Bobby was an alcoholic. He's like,
John.
We have an opportunity here with these kids that, you know, horrible things have happened to them, but they are aware of the life. We have an opportunity to give them what we mostly as hunters don't have, which is like a balanced actual upbringing. Like the one kid's like an all-state like athlete, the other one's like gonna go to,
they're gonna hunt regardless.
One's probably pre-law.
I guess it's like, as long, I mean, if you're gonna smoke weed, at least do it under my roof.
There's totally that kind of thing, and just be like, listen, if we just like let them, you know, exercise these demons a little bit, then
literally,
I don't know. Then maybe they'll be better hunters, you know. And he says the thing that really kicked this idea off for him was that the Leviathan fiasco. From last year.
So we now cut to Breakfast at Victor's, the sequel.
Yeah, yeah. Still has Mickey Rooney though.
Yeah, not gonna do it. Sam, it's not fair. They can't see. Sam is invited to join for breakfast. Victor serves waffles, Krissy's favorite.
Yeah.
Victor emphasizes the interaction and manners, showing a paternal side. The kids prepare for school, showcasing a semblance of normalcy. The kids leave for school, and Victor assures he'll pick them up.
This is such like a TV or even theater blocking thing where it's like, it's breakfast time. It's like, come get your breakfast.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
a plate. Here's one bite. I gotta go. We're late. Like think like the table is set. Like we're gonna sit down. A couple of things
Too busy.
happen, and then everyone, I gotta go.
And then the mom at the end's like, oh, these kids.
It's such like a busy business kind of thing. You see it in TV, you see it in theater all the
so
time.
funny.
But I really clocked it because Sam is just sitting still with all of this happening around him. He's like, well, I want a waffle.
I do love that.
Yeah.
Sam expressing amazement at the lively household. Victor reflects on the challenges and joys of raising kids.
Yeah. Well, because this is totally a Sam sort of thing, right? The idea of like getting to have a normal life. It's come up in so many different ways through the show and even through this season that it's like this is such a Sam kind
Totally.
of mode, right?
Oh yeah, it's the perfect episode I think for Sam to eventually like speak on, because I think that he's the one who, despite the fact that Dean's the one who actually has like had that experience, it's Sam that like really wants the normalcy of like family life and like really craves that type of thing. Dean had it, lost it, and then got it again and then gave it up.
Yeah, I mean, Sam purportedly had it, but it seemed like it sucked for most of that
and
year.
it wasn't this.
Yeah.
But Sam inquires about Victor's own children, and that's when he shares the tragic fate of his family to a Wendigo.
Yeah.
Victor expresses his desire
Which again, like, couldn't this be a cool opportunity to have a Wendigo in an episode? Go, nope.
No.
Vamp again.
Victor expresses his desire to prove... Stop speaking from an angle of wanting more lore.
It's one of the coolest monsters
and we only get it once.
We only get it once.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, it doesn't make sense here because they wouldn't be in a city or something just one more time we couldn't put...
Victor expresses his desire to provide the kids a different, better life than the typical hunter lifestyle. Showcases a softer, nurturing side of Victor, counterbalanced with his tragic past. We then cut simultaneously to Dean at the sheriff's station. Dean walks into the sheriff's station with the girl previously seen tied up in the hotel room.
Right.
She expresses confusion and distress about the actions of Jimmy Day. Reveals Jimmy Day is a known local hero recently returned from Afghanistan. The girl recounts being approached by a man in a hoodie who asks for direction before she loses consciousness.
Yeah.
She wakes up in a hotel room with Jimmy, who appears remorseful and scared. Dean questions the girl to understand the circumstances surrounding her abduction. He seeks clarity. He seeks to clarify the role of Jimmy Day and the mysterious man in the hoodie.
Yeah.
Back at Victor's house, Krissy, Aiden, and Josephine return unexpectedly, prompting Sam's questions about their early return from school. Victor announces they've identified a new vampire target, believed to be the killer of Krissy's father.
Yeah, and this is where it starts getting a little bit like great, we're gonna kill these sons of bitches that have it coming, and we like even. I mean, not in this scene, but just in this episode, when Dean is even like, I don't know, monsters are a gray area, then you gotta go like, oh.
Dean's doing it, yeah. Sam and Victor...
These kids are fucking amped to kill this vamp.
The Sam and Victor discuss the credibility of the surveillance photo, with Sam expressing skepticism due to the lack of a timestamp.
Yeah, which seems pretty basic.
The conversation is interrupted by a call from Dean, who shares his own concerns and findings, adding to the doubt about the vampire's identity.
Now, there's another thing that happens in here, which is... So Sam is like, yeah, something's not right about this with Victor. And Dean's like, so you think he's crooked? And Sam's like, or at the very least, just wrong.
Yeah.
You know, but either way, it's dangerous. And another thing that had been happening is a couple of times now, Dean has thought he's seen a blue van.
Yes.
And then he's turned around and it's been gone.
And then Sam notices it outside.
And then Sam notices it outside and it goes to Victor and is like, we have a bigger problem. This van has been like at these other scenes.
So they might know
like,
where you live.
They might know where you live. Like, we got to move on this. And Victor's like, then I guess we're going hunting.
Yes. So we then go to the hotel front desk. Dean asks the hotel clerk who checked into room 215 the previous day.
Yeah.
The clerk describes the guest in the room as a man wearing a hoodie, making it difficult to see his face. Dean inquires if the man drove a blue van, but the clerk dismisses the idea of remembering vehicles, but points Dean toward the brochure for more information.
Yeah, he's like, he took a brochure for this cabin out in the fucking, like, woods, you know, like 20 minutes out of town or some shit like that. And Dean's like, fucking fine. I'll
Conway Springs Lodge.
I'll go out there, I guess.
So the clerk confirms the location of the lodge and mentions that it's closed for the season.
Yeah.
Sam then investigates the blue van outside Victor's, only to discover that it's empty.
Yeah, it's empty, and then
Sam and Victor then walk around to the back of the blue van.
yeah,
down the street. to
well, and
locate the
does he
driver.
like does he see someone, or are they just tracking? Because they end up like walking through a park.
Yeah. They end up going down the street and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We then cut to Conway Springs Lodge. Through a backcountry road, Dean drives up and cautiously enters the lodge. Inside the lodge, he discovers a frightened, disheveled girl sitting on a bunk bed.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know where I am. My stomach hurts. I don't know what's up. These vamp fangs come out. And she goes like, like she's clearly just been turned.
Totally.
And Dean's like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. The kids burst in and they're like, that's the one that killed my family or whatever. And Dean's like, she just got turned. That's not how this goes. What I like in this scene is I like Krissy, Josephine has been clearly amping herself up to get revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Krissy is like pretty cold-blooded here, but I like this like Aiden, what's his fuck, trying to be tough to Dean.
I know.
Where he's just like, they all have their guns drawn, and Dean's like, no, we gotta talk about this and figure this out. And Aiden's like, we've got the guns. And he's like, oh, do you? And he just like takes it and like disarms him. And I just love
The idea that like
yeah.
this kid thinks he's got some one up on Dean.
Because theoretically, it could be a little bit dangerous, like three very emotional kids with guns or
Totally.
whatever. But Dean just like, he's like, none of you actually want this.
Yes.
Let's figure this out. We'll take her back with us. She's newly turned. We could actually cure her.
Yeah.
Sometimes hunting is not about killing.
Killing, yeah. Which is crazy for Dean to say.
And and this is like the second or third time that he said it in this episode. He's just like, that part of hunting is something a little more nuanced, you know?
We also find out that this girl had been abducted by a man in a blue van,
Yeah.
hinting at the unwilling connection to recent events.
Yes.
Krissy, and then we go back to Victor's neighborhood.
Yeah, Sam and Victor are like going through a park. They're sort of splitting up, trailing this guy, and Sam thinks he sees him, and he's rounding the tree. He's about to catch him, and then Victor comes behind him and pistol whips him and knocks him out.
That's right.
Victor doesn't look like he could knock Sam out. Can I just say that?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
The hooded figure reveals himself as an ally to Victor, showing vampire teeth.
Yeah.
We then go back to the lodge. Dean insists on a peaceful solution in the standoff. Krissy confronts Dean about being with vampires she believes killed the father. Dean defends the girl.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And he
I
challenges
jumped ahead. I
the
forgot that
group's
this was
eagerness
split.
to sit. Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene ends with Dean proposing to take the vampire to Victor.
Yeah.
Back at Victor's house, Sam regains consciousness tied to a chair with Victor
This
and the hooded vampire.
I have a bone to pick with this whole plan.
Sure.
He knows they're out on a hunt. As far as he knows,
They're going to come back.
they're gonna. He even says we don't have much time.
Yeah.
So why tie Sam up in the living room? Do this in the park,
Or like in the
Or-
basement or
or
something.
somewhere.
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, because then he has to do this whole like showy thing of like he starts gently tipping over like the coffee table and stuff. He goes, "Oh, there was a tragic battle and you were killed," but it's like Sam's still tied up. They can still come home at any time, see a bunch of mess.
Yes.
And so it's like, do this somewhere else, because then what happens?
Yeah.
They come back with Dean
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, what's going on here? And then all of this kind of comes out that Victor has been teaming up with this vampire. The
Killed
vampires,
their families.
the vampire killed their families. Victor has taken them in to train them to be better hunters.
He's literally was like, oh, what makes
The
a
vamp
hunter?
is like turning new
Yeah.
vamps, and then they're fabricating this like surveillance stuff to give to the kids to have them kill them.
But it's like the idea is, instead of finding kids, he's just like, well, I got one kid. What makes a hunter kid? Well, their family has to die.
Yeah,
It's like basically like a Marvel thing where it's like, what makes a Marvel superhero? Okay, well, your parents have to die. Or like
Well,
a
yeah,
Spider-Man.
it's like that fucking Justice League cartoon.
Yeah.
There's one where Waller tries to make a Batman that way, by
Yeah.
like killing someone's parents in an alley. You know, like there's like that kind of shit. And I was like, man, it's so messed up. I'm still slightly unclear on what the vampire gets out of it,
He gets
because
to kill
they
kids. I don't know.
because they
or
talk
like adults.
because they talk about how in the wake of what the Leviathans did. We all just have to survive. But I'm not sure how making more better hunters is good
Good for
long
the
term for
vampire.
a vamp.
Yeah.
I don't fully get why he's part of the plan. I get all of Victor's side of it.
My guess is that maybe Victor was like, look, I'll kill you or you help me.
Or he just, I think, because I think the best the episode does is just say like that this vampire gets like free reign.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is, or gets killed.
Yeah.
So a tense standoff ensues with Krissy threatening Victor at gunpoint.
That's right.
Krissy chooses to spare Victor, leaving him to live with his guilt.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like how this plays out. Dean's like, you don't have to do this, blah blah blah. She like starts pulling the trigger, but she's emptied all the bullets out. Like, I like how all that plays out, and Victor's like, like just.
And Krissy's awesome. I like Krissy,
and she's great, and like it's a really good emotional moment. It's tense. I like that. What I don't love so much is they're like, so we're just gonna leave him, and she goes like, we'll just leave him to be alone. That's the worst fate there is. It's like he could just turn around and do this to 3 more kids. I at least thought she was gonna say, we'll at least make him take the fall for the murders.
Sure.
You know, like the cops are still looking for people. Like, I thought at least they'd be like, we'll make him take the fall for that.
Yes.
But they were just like, no, I think he's learned his lesson now. And that bit, I was like, has he? And then he sort of inexplicably kills himself.
Yes.
With his own ankle gun.
Yeah.
Which I don't. That bit I didn't buy as much. That like now he's overcome with remorse.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just figured like that we don't kill humans. Great, I love that. But there has to be a consequence.
So
And him just be like, what have I wrought? Like,
yeah, it's a little bit.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of slightly unbelievable.
I mean, I guess he didn't have a vampire partner anymore, but theoretically, you just move to a new town and do it again.
Yeah.
If you could set it up once, you could set it up again.
Truly. But I think at that point, you've lost the sort of like the heroicism of it all, because it's like when everyone's like, no, this is bad, suddenly you're just the villain, which is the thing that you were, I think, convincing yourself that you were.
Sure. Right. Although he's very obviously like it's one
He's
thing.
not hand-wringy about it.
It's
like,
one thing to be like, sometimes a good thing comes from a bad thing.
Yes.
But as soon as he's got Sam tied up and he goes like, oh no, Sam, we're framing you.
You know what it feels
no,
like?
You're just bad.
It feels like The Last of Us, the guy who runs the like.
Yeah. Yes.
I think
true.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Right.
Which is like a easy way to do a bad thing and feel good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Where it's less about the like feeling good about it, more feeling justified.
Yes, I agree.
So we then go to Victor's house the next morning. Aiden comforts the recently cured vampire girl with Josephine and Krissy present.
Yeah.
Dean commends Krissy, who dismisses his praise jokingly. Krissy decides to stay with the group, rejecting a normal life. Dean accepts Krissy's decision, acknowledging her maturity and independence. Dean promises to send Garth to check in on them occasionally. I do love that Garth is now the like, we've got a problem that like the boys don't have time for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Garth, well,
they keep dumping shit on Garth. Yeah.
A humorous moment between Dean and Aiden hints at Krissy's strong personality.
Yeah. Well, and what I like about all this too is, again, that kind of it's slightly complicated thing of like they actually are better together.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, Victor a little bit
did something good.
Wins.
Yeah.
Not even did it good, but just he was right.
Yeah.
Which is almost worse.
Yeah.
But they are kind of better together. But I like now, Sam and Dean bomb in, and Dean of all people teaches them empathy.
It's so funny.
And like compassion and stuff like that. But I think that's good I think it's important for Dean's character arc, because he's come a long way even from the beginning of this season. In terms of him trying to be on the same page with Sam about the trials, in terms of him being like, Cass, like, I know it wasn't you. Like, like Dean is, I was about to say done a lot of work. That's not true. But Dean is in a better place, I think.
Yeah.
Than he has been.
I think so.
So I kind of like that.
Well, and this puts Dean and Sam in a position where they're reflecting now on the importance, once again, of closing the gates of hell for the sake of all hunters.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the
Which
episode.
I agree with, but Dean is like, we got to do this, and then they'll live long lives. Be like, there's a lot of monsters that aren't demons.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, Dean.
But we'll discuss our reviews
Yeah.
after this quick break. And we're back. What did you think about the episode?
I like this one.
Mhm.
I think it's I think Krissy's really good.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic of the kids. I like
Krissy, wake up.
I like the setup of the, like, we're teaching them to hunt. We're giving them, like, a stable environment. I like this, kind of riffing on, like, the evil foster parent kind of trope or thing like that. Not that that's a thing you want to perpetuate, because there's also some good foster parents out there. But I
Watch Shazam.
But I think it's, like, narratively interesting and stuff like that. I still don't 100% understand the vampires part of the plan.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I don't always love Victor's performance.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if it's just his look or something, but sometimes I just don't buy it. And
Okay.
not in the way where it's like, there's more to this guy, but
Yeah,
in the way where
sure.
it's like, I don't buy, like, the scene now.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Just something about him. But, like, generally speaking, this episode moves pretty fast. I guess that, like, there's not a ton of fights, so that's kind of whatever. It's a good Dean episode. It's a solid Sam episode. It's pretty good. I'd probably give this like a 3.75 uneaten waffles.
Nice. I think that I'm probably on the same page as you. I think that I love Krissy, and it's also a representation of, like, hey, what, like, powerful female figures that can come back and be dope.
Yes.
And this sort of idea of, again, of, like, the legacy of forgotten, like, children in this series, and, like, who've had to deal with stuff, and, like, the fact
Right.
that it's like, look, we should keep checking up on them, because, like, who
Yeah.
knows what happened, right?
Yeah, remember fucking Amy's kid?
This is
Just,
what
like,
I mean,
Dead
yeah.
eye stared Dean.
This is what I mean, right? Like, there are all these
Yeah.
kids that, like, are interesting to keep following up with as they
Yeah.
grow up, especially when the show's on for so long. It's like they become adults
Yeah,
by the
it's
end of the
true, yeah.
series. And so I think that I like this is really like a start of that catch up. Like, you get a little bit of that with, like, what's his name? Like, when Dean has his family, and you get to see that kid again.
Ben.
Ben, yeah.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, you don't really get to see kids like grow up until this is really, like, the first time I think we return to somebody.
Yeah, there's some in future. But,
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's surprising that this isn't one of the, and I get why, because of the way that it ends, but this wasn't one of those, like, spin-off, like, attempts.
It feels like it could be.
Because, like, spoiler alert,
Like,
there's a lot of spin-offs that
Kid
try to happen.
Hunters.
Yes. Yes. This one's Wheels.
Oh my god! Imagine it like a YTV, like 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually kind of into that.
It would be dope.
I sort of dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
No. God damn it, Steven.
Yeah, so I think I think this is a fun episode. I like the concept. It's fairly well done. The performances aren't all great, but I love seeing Sam in a position where he's like, where I think he is a bit of a Dean, and Dean's a bit
Yeah.
of a Sam, and
Yeah.
like they get to sort of like grow in different ways, and,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
Sam sort of isn't like, this is great, and Dean's like, this is great, but like not the way it should be. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I agree.
it's interesting, right? You see some serious growth with a lot of characters in this episode, which is nice.
Totally.
But yeah, it's not amazing, but it's definitely a memorable episode. It's one that I came in remembering.
Yeah.
So I am gonna give this 4 out of 5 blue mysterious vans.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But those were our reviews. But before we go, we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
All right. Hit me.
Hi guys, I've been listening for a long while now, and I love your podcast. I actually found you guys when I started listening to that other one.
So many people. How are people finding us when they go to listen? Like, that's what I'm curious about. What is the pipeline?
Maybe
Because it's one thing to find us and then be like, but just because you're a fan of the show, be like, yeah, I know there's another.
Maybe they're complaining about us.
I want to know what the pipeline is.
Or all the fans are like, look, I'm leaving the show. 5-star review for this other series.
Yeah, it'd be like, what is this?
That's very funny.
They hate us.
Oh, God, I wish.
I don't want them to hate us.
That's why we're not getting on the Vancouver Supernatural Con.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we're on a blacklist.
And while I like the interviews, I find the hosts a little grating, actually. And also really wanted to, more about the actual episodes. So I wholly prefer Ghostfacers. Plus, most of the other Supernatural podcasts I found seemed to veer quickly into hate watching. Okay, I'm going to address this now. I realize that we can tend in that direction in the last few seasons. But they're also bad seasons.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're right.
The show... That's not what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The show gets better, and so will our reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to get through 6 and 7. And half of 8.
That's actually been the hardest one. I'll throw that out there right now. On this rewatch, I am surprised to announce that the hardest part so far has been the first half of season 8.
Crazy, but it's true.
Yeah. It almost made me want Samuel back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love that you two can call out the show when needed without losing the appreciation for everything it does. That, and I 100% share your thirst for Dean.
Who doesn't?
I'm writing now for 2 reasons. 1, I just finished season 7's Slice Girls.
Nice.
And between that and Adventures in Babysitting, I was reminded of the biggest pet peeves in this show. Supernatural repeatedly shows how much Dean canonically loves and has a soft spot for kids. How much he wants a family.
Yeah.
Ben anyone?
Yeah.
To then go and make him an actual biological father for 3/4 of an episode, to just have Sam kill her, barely equate it to the Amy situation, and never acknowledge this again is such a slap in the face. Dean being a father, it deserved so much more consideration than this throwaway plot, period. This ep does his character dirty, and I'll never be over it.
Whoa.
I didn't really think about it like that, but yeah, it does suck that
either, yeah.
there was all these question marks about like, is he Ben's father for a while and all this other stuff, and then he finally gets the opportunity to be his father, and then it's like, we're gonna give him an actual biological child, and it's sort of like, it's like for like 10 minutes.
This is a like real weird reference to make, but like in general on this show, Dean gets Joey Tribbiani'd.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else at some point, even if it's temporary, gets what they wanted.
Yeah.
And Dean always has to live with wanting things he can't have.
It's true.
Which is, yeah. If you don't watch Friends, go back and watch Friends and then get to the end and realize Joey is the only one with no happy ending.
To the point where Joey was like, hey, why don't I just be with you, Rachel, and I'll help you raise this child.
He just tries.
And then Ross is like, I guess I'll be with you.
Yeah, like Joey's like, we should be together. Then Rachel's like, it's weird. And Joey's like, I know it's weird, but it's all I have left.
And Ross is like, maybe.
I'm not okay with it. And Joey's like, I'm a good friend. I'll get out of the way. And then Ross and Rachel get married. Monica and Chandler move out of the city.
Yeah.
Phoebe and Mike get married. No one lives with Joey anymore. Joey ends up moving to fucking LA.
Yeah, and gets a failed pilot.
You know?
Or a failed first season of a TV show.
He actually gets 2 seasons.
Is that really?
2 seasons of Joey.
Really? Oh.
But Joey is super sad, you know? Like, I feel like
that's how they should have played the spin-off series.
I mean, there are moments, but it's still a sitcom. But I kind of wish they had played it like
fucking like True Blood or something, just like crazy serious.
But at any rate, I feel like Dean gets the same sort of thing where it's like, we have a lot of fun with this guy. We love him, but ultimately, you know
what it would be?
He'll never get the thing that he wants.
It would be, if they played it more like fucking something super serious, it would just be BoJack Horseman.
Oh my God. Have you watched episodes?
No.
Man, because episodes gets dark sometimes too.
Yeah.
And LeBlanc's good on that.
Oh, sure.
At any rate.
Second, even though I'm not caught up yet, I'm super excited that next week you'll have finally reached my absolute favorite Dean episode, LARPing the Real Girl.
Yeah, great one.
And in my opinion, Jensen hit peak hotness in seasons 8 to 10. This ep specifically closely followed up by the first few episodes of season 10, of course.
Season 10 is very hot for Dean.
Yes. For some very specific reasons, yeah. Plus, it has everything I love about Dean and his relationship with Charlie. The battle planning, the porn references, and the not-so-subtle nerding out. Also, the Braveheart speech, the outfit, some of the better LGBT content the show ever does. It's one I love to rewatch, and I can't wait to listen to you guys get into it. And this is our episode that we do from the con.
I mean, that's a live one. That's
How much nerdier does it get? And with Juicebox.
Yeah, a sold-out live show.
Yeah, baby, we did that this year.
Because we're popular. But not critically
Acclaimed.
not critically respected.
Look, I'd rather get a Kids' Choice Award over a fucking Oscar. Any day.
Let's get slimed
Yeah,
at like the Discount Podcast Awards.
I'm listening.
God damn it, Steven.
Slimed at a kids' event. Yes, please.
Jesus Christ.
From a fellow Canadian, Nikki.
Thanks, Nikki.
If you want to continue this chat about Supernatural, about your favorite episodes, about Nerdy Dean, we all love Nerdy Dean. We had a couple more moments before the end of the series, and
oh yeah, definitely
love Nerdy Dean. We can continue that chat on our Discord.
That's right. If you go to patreon.com/ghostfacers, for only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio, our amazing community Discord server.
Yeah, baby.
And for just $4 more a month, that makes $5 total. If your
look at you mathing.
If your math is weak,
Weak?
Well, if your math is weak, I've now explained it.
Oh, okay.
So if there's, for $5 a month, you get access to a whole bonus episode every week.
How many dollars is that?
It's called the Bunker Report. That's $5.
Okay, that's 4 plus 1.
Oh gosh. It's called the Bunker Report. We talk about all sorts of different stuff. Fan theories. We've watched the Ghostfacers web series. We've watched one episode of the Winchesters. We'll get back into all sorts of fun extra Supernatural content is over there and helps us support us.
That's right. So for 9 minus 4, you can pay for Patreon. Or if you want to send a note to us like Nikki has, you can email us at ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
That's right. We're Ghostfacers Pod on Facebook and Instagram.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on wherever you listen to us every single week. And while you're on there, why don't you give us a 5-star review and we'll read that on a future episode. And if you want to get your early boarding with children Stephen Hawking's t-shirt.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
More like Stephen Cockings, am I right?
I mean, it's technically along the same line. I was going to pitch a shirt. I couldn't get there, but a shirt with the blue van and something with Stephen Hawking. But
yeah, that's true.
Ugh.
Yeah. this blue van's got more than a ramp.
Oh, no. It's so bad.
Buy your merch at ghostfacerspodcaststore.com.
Oh, no.
Or check out Dr. DZ.
I don't want him speaking for that show.
It's my favorite podcast.
Our critically acclaimed podcast.
That's correct. 4 Canadian Podcast Awards.
3. The 4th one was the one we got
3
last year
Canadian Podcast Awards.
3 times
4 minus 1.
Yeah, 4 minus 1 Canadian Podcast Awards. We talk about superheroes and comic books. If you like the way that we talk about lore and things like that over here, you might like how we talk about that stuff over there.
Well, that is it for this week. Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.